There's a silent battle raging in her mind, and you're at the center of it. She thinks about you more than she's willing to admit, yet stays completely silent. Why does her silence say more than her words ever could it? Now, deep inside her mind, there's a conflict she doesn't want to acknowledge. Outwardly, she seems composed, but the truth? She thinks about you more often than she'd like to admit. Your presence, your words, your energy, they linger like echoes that rise unexpectedly in her quietest moments. And yet, despite all of that, she won't text, she won't call, she won't show the slightest sign that you're on her mind. Why? Because pride, that stubborn wall between her feelings and her actions, is still standing tall. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly what's happening inside her. Why she's torn between emotion and ego. And most importantly, how you, as a man of self-respect, should handle it with the strength and calm of a Stoic. Sign number 1, the battle between heart and pride. She wants to reach out. She wants to reconnect. She misses you, but there's a voice in her head whispering, "Don't do it. He might think you're weak. He should text first." It's not that she doesn't care, she does. But her pride refuses to let her admit it. She rereads old conversations. She wonders if you're thinking about her. She might even type out a message, then delete it. This is the tug-of-war between her heart and her ego, between raw emotion and the fear of appearing vulnerable. She wants to feel close again, but fears you've moved on. What if you no longer care? What if reaching out only brings rejection? So she waits, hoping, praying that you'll be the one to break the silence. But here's where you must think like a Stoic. As men, we don't engage in someone else's emotional conflict. That's her battle, not yours. Your job isn't to fix her pride. It's to focus on your growth, your mindset, your peace. You can't control her fear or hesitation. But what you can control is your reaction with strength, with dignity, with unshakable calm. Ever notice how people only begin to value something when they feel it slipping away? That's human nature. Your silence isn't just quiet, it's a message. It says, "I'm not waiting, I'm not chasing. If you want me, you'll have to come to me." That's what gets her thinking. She may not say it, she may not show it, but make no mistake, you're still on her mind. She scrolls through your old messages, maybe glances at your profile, fights the urge to reach out because her pride is in the way. Remember Epictetus's words, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life." And it's achieved by letting go of things beyond our control. So let go of the need for her to be the first to reach out. Let go of the expectation for validation. If she values you, she'll find a way. If not, the silence was never yours to break. Either way, you win. Next, we'll explore what happens when she starts silently watching, looking for signs you still care. Let's break it down in the next part. In the last section, we talked about how her silence stems from pride, not disinterest. Now let's explore how she's still watching you, just not the way you expect. Have you ever felt tempted to post something vague? A quote, a lyric, just to see if she reacts? Or have you chosen the higher path, staying focused on your own growth? If this resonates, share your experience in the comments, or simply write, "A wise man performs for himself." Let's see how many of us truly live that principle. Sign 3, she's thinking about you, just not saying it. Women rarely express feelings directly. Instead, they drop clues, subtle signs, hoping you'll pick up on them. She might post a song lyric that reminds her of you, a quote about missing someone, or casually ask a mutual friend, "How's he been lately?" These aren't coincidences. They're quiet ways of saying, "I'm thinking about him." But pride keeps her from saying it outright. She wants you to notice, but she doesn't want to be the one who breaks the silence. Maybe she lingers on your stories but never likes or comments. Maybe she starts showing up at places you used to go together. Maybe she drops a subtle inside joke. A quiet reminder that you still occupy space in her mind, so why doesn't she just say it? Because admitting she misses you means being vulnerable. And for many women, vulnerability feels like losing control. Her pride tells her, wait, let him reach out first. Just in case you've already moved on, she battles between what she feels and what her ego allows her to express. And more often than not, ego wins. But you don't chase signals. You don't get caught decoding clues. Just because she's thinking about you doesn't mean you abandon your path. Real strength is about staying grounded, not reacting to every emotion that comes your way. As Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." If you chase every subtle sign, every look, every lyric, you lose yourself in the process. Her signals, her silence, her pride. None of it should dictate your next move. A strong man stays centered, not out of coldness, but because he refuses to be controlled by anything outside of himself. Let her wrestle with her thoughts. Your focus is on your peace, your discipline, your journey. If she truly values you, she'll find her way past her pride. If not, you'll already be too far ahead to look back. Next, we'll dive into the push and pull dynamic. When emotions say one thing and pride says another, it's a pattern you've likely seen before, and it's time to break it down. In the last section, we saw how she might be watching you silently, torn between emotion and pride. Now, as things begin to settle, nostalgia quietly returns, but not to comfort her, to haunt her. Memories can bring warmth, or they can sting with regret. And for her, those memories are becoming a whisper she can't escape. She finds herself replaying old moments, the laughter, the long conversations, the way you looked at her like she was the only person in the world. And a quiet voice begins to echo in her mind. Did I make the right decision? At first, she brushed it off. She convinced herself that moving on was the smart choice. But as time drags on, that confidence begins to waver. She starts remembering the little things. Your calm presence, your tone, even the silence that once felt so natural between you. Now it feels like something's missing. But acknowledging that she was wrong, that's an entirely different battle, because to reach out, to admit regret, means setting aside pride, and for some people, that's harder than walking away ever was. See, the human mind loves to romanticize what it no longer has. The flaws fade. The good memories get brighter. And the safety you once gave her becomes a warmth she can't access anymore. She scrolls through your old texts late at night, listens to a song that throws her back in time. She may even start typing a message, only to delete it seconds later. If he cared, he'd message first, her ego whispers. And so she waits, even as the ache grows stronger. But here's where Stoicism offers you clarity. You can't control her pride, you can't force her to act, and most of all, you shouldn't wait. You don't belong in the past, in a loop of regrets and what-ifs. You belong in the present, in the life that continues to move forward. If she truly wants to revisit what was, it's her responsibility to act on it. Not yours to guess, not yours to chase. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It is not death a man should fear, but never beginning to truly live." So apply that here. Don't fear losing what was never meant to stay. Don't seek validation from someone too proud to give it. You don't need proof that she's thinking about you. Her internal conflict is proof enough. And if one day the silence becomes too heavy, if she realizes that pride cost her something real, she may reach out. But by then, you won't be the same man she once left. You'll have grown. You'll have moved forward. You'll be walking towards something greater. Up next, we explore the moment it truly hits her. When the absence becomes undeniable and the silence becomes too loud to ignore. We just uncovered a quiet truth. Her silence isn't absence. It's her pride standing in the way. And now, in the stillness, the thoughts of you are growing louder. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Right now, that opportunity is unfolding. She's thinking about you. She scrolls through old messages. Maybe she pauses on your name in her contacts, but still doesn't reach out, because her pride, that stubborn wall, isn't ready to come down just yet. She wants to reach out. But the idea of being the first to say she misses you, to her, it feels like surrender. That's the tug of war, ego versus emotion. And this is where your true power lies. Not in chasing, not in proving your value, but in standing tall in your self-respect. A Stoic man understands control over someone else's emotions is an illusion. What you can control is your mind, your focus, your discipline. Epictetus put it best: freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it is won by disregarding things beyond our control. Your freedom begins the moment you let go of needing her validation, the moment you stop wondering, will she reach out? Is she thinking about me? That's the moment you reclaim your power. When you master yourself, you stop chasing and start attracting. Your strength is in your silence, in your patience, in allowing her to sit with her thoughts and feel your absence. Picture this. She's out with friends, laughing, pretending all is well. But later, when she's alone, when the noise fades, that's when your absence becomes undeniable. She's not texting you, not because she doesn't want to, but because she's wrestling with her pride. And this is where many men fall short. They break the silence too soon. They seek reassurance, they cave to doubt, but the man who knows his worth, he waits, he breathes, he builds, he doesn't interrupt the natural flow of attraction with desperation. So let her think, let her pride keep her quiet. Your job is simple. Keep growing. Stay focused. Remain calm. If the connection was real, she'll come forward. If it wasn't, you've proven you were strong enough to hold your position. Next, we'll talk about the moment her pride finally breaks. When she sends that first message, finds an excuse to reconnect. And what matters most isn't if she reaches out, but how you choose to respond. In the previous part, we explored how your silence isn't about playing games. It's about self-respect. And now, in that quiet, something starts to shift. Her pride begins to crack. She may never say it out loud, but you'll notice it in the little things. The hesitation before replying. The way she silently watches your stories but never likes. Mutual friends casually mentioning that she asked about you. These are the subtle fractures in her pride. Moments when her mind slips past the mask she's trying to wear. But here's the thing, your power isn't in chasing those signs. It's in staying grounded, unshaken. Just as the Stoics taught, Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." And that's exactly how you carry yourself. You don't punish her for leaving. You don't hold on to resentment. Instead, you become the man who is at peace, whether she comes back or not. You stay focused. You continue your journey. You don't
lose yourself, and if she finally does reach out, you respond with calm, with composure.
with self-respect, not desperation, because the moment you react emotionally, lash out, guilt trip, or seek closure, you show she still holds power over you. But when you respond with grace, you remind her of who you are. The steady, composed man she was drawn to from the beginning. That is power. That is emotional mastery. So when her pride finally breaks, when she finds a reason to reconnect, a text, a comment, a photo that reignites a memory, don't make it about winning. Make it about who you've become in her absence. If she truly values what she lost, she'll find a way to return, not to test you, but to rebuild with humility. If not, then you already know that you're better off walking forward. Next, we explore a deeper truth, why your growth, your evolution, is the real game changer. Whether she returns or not, you've already won. In the previous part, we said it clearly. Whether she comes back or not, you've already won. Because the real victory is never about keeping someone, it's about keeping your dignity. She may never openly admit it, but you'll see it in the little signs. Maybe she still checks your profile, maybe she keeps her distance, but inside, her silence is the confession her pride won't allow. And you told the man who needed no apology, no grand return, no closure. You kept walking, calm, focused, unmoved. That's maturity. And that's why you never lose, because you're not playing to win. You didn't send texts out of fear. You didn't guilt her back into your life. You became the man who cannot be shaken by love, by silence, or by abandonment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man should not fear death, but never beginning to live." You're not afraid of losing someone, you're afraid of losing yourself. That's why you live. With intention, with self-respect, with quiet strength. And that's the part she never expected. She thought you'd wait, fall apart, beg. But instead of waiting, you evolved. You didn't look for reasons to go back. You built reasons to keep going. And someday, if she does swallow her pride, if she realizes you weren't just a good man, but the standard she should have never
Let go.
she'll understand, not because you were distant, but because you became someone she can't get close to unless she changes. That's why you're irreplaceable, not because you played it better, but because you chose to live better. So,
If you're still asking yourself, is she thinking about me? Yes, she probably is.
but it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is this: you chose peace over chaos, growth over reaction, yourself over uncertainty, and that is the win. If this message spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you been in this position before? What did you do when pride stood in the way? Share in the comments below. Or if you just want to leave a quiet signal of growth, type, "I choose myself." If you got value from this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't stop here. Check out the next videos on screen to dive deeper into Stoicism, self-mastery, and emotional discipline. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and keep rising.